I'm caught.
Don't be.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 film Art of Eight Limbs. The film is directed by Robert Grasmere and it stars Nicholas Hammond and Ludi Lin. Now, I joke there that this is Enter the Dragon, but this essentially is, in all but name, it feels like a remake in many ways of Enter the Dragon. It follows Ludi Lin's character. He is a martial artist. He's a competitive martial artist in the US, but he's also an analyst for the CIA or somebody. However, he is brought into the office by his superiors. There are some chemical weapons over in Thailand, and this general, who is a huge martial arts fan, holds a tournament every single year, and it is believed at this tournament there is going to be an auction take place for people to buy these chemical weapons. His character is sent over there undercover to enter the tournament, find out where the chemical weapons are being held, call in the Navy SEALs, and be a hero. As you can imagine, things don't exactly go according to plan. Right, what are my thoughts on Art of Eight Limbs? This is a perfectly serviceable, martial arts action film. The strongest parts of the film is the martial arts. Don't get me wrong, Ludi Lin is no Bruce Lee, but he's got the look, both physically and facially, and the way he moves with his martial arts. You know, he's very good at what he does here in this film, apart from act. He's not the greatest actor, unfortunately. In fact, you could say that about many people here in this film. Acting is probably one of the weakest aspects here. It is what it is. It's not jam-packed full of good character actors, but show me a martial arts film really like this that is, I suppose. It is quite a rarity. But it trundles along at a nice enough pace. The martial arts is slick when you get it. There's some athletic set pieces going on, and the concept of this martial arts tournament. Unfortunately, they don't play on that enough. Whereas in Enter the Dragon, if you like, you get to see quite a few tournament matches. In this, you really don't. You get one with this French guy and another Chinese fighter, and then you get one with Ludi Lin's character going up against the current champ. And I really do think they could have built that up a bit more, in regards to really making out this guy, this champ, to be like a really menacing foe. Because the film, for me, felt like it was really lacking a memorable villain here. You've got this general. Okay, he's clearly the villain here, but he's, he doesn't come across as overly menacing or anything like that. And none of his fighters come across as oh my God, these guys are terrifying and brutal and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a couple he goes up against that are quite talented fighters, but you never really feel as though he's in any trouble at all here in regards to the martial arts fights that he's put up against. It's got quite an interesting conclusion to it as well. As I said, it goes along at a really, really fast pace. I tell you what, I almost forgot I wanted to mention this. You've got Nicholas Hammond in this film. Now, that name might not ring any bells for most of you, and if you're not my kind of age, it probably won't at all. He's in this film, and he kind of plays like this veteran CIA agent who's kind of taking Ludi Lin's character under his wing and helping him. And now, all the way through watching this, I'm thinking, I know this guy's face. I know him from something. And when I looked at his filmography, I couldn't believe it. He is my Spider-Man from the 1979 like TV show, the Amazing Spider-Man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. Put in 1970s Spider-Man. Well, they were like TV movies, really. I think, from what I remember, it's abysmal when you watch it now. But when I was a kid, that was all I had for Spider-Man, other than some cartoons, and I absolutely loved it. So it was really cool to see Nicholas Hammond here in this. As I say, he was Peter Parker, stroke Spider-Man back in the day. So I digress a little bit, of course, but yeah, it's the locations are excellent here. Obviously, I don't know. Some of the locations look really familiar. There's a couple of bits, and you kind of like, was that in Rambo First Blood Part Two? And there's another bits, and you kind of like, was that where they did bits in Enter the Dragon? I'm not sure whether they were, but they just looked really cool, and I quite liked that sort of thing. Some beautiful like temples to look at. So the locations, I think they really, really did a good job on here with this one. The martial arts again is, as I mentioned, very, very strong for the most part. But it does really suffer, like I say, from poor performances. Some uninteresting segments when they keep going back to the CIA base or office where his superiors are sat there chatting. That stuff's dull as dishwater. Some of the early stuff when he's trying to sneak around the complex and find the chemical weapons is, fairly uninteresting stuff. But, I mean, this is not going to kind of win any awards for Action Film of the Year. It's not even the best martial artist film I've seen this year. It's not, probably not even close. But I quite enjoyed my time with this one. I was occasionally sat with a smile on my face. I thought, it was slick, it was smooth, the action. But there's also times where you kind of feel you're rolling your eyes sort of thing, because you're just kind of, my God, this is dull, this bit, or my God, the dialogue's terrible here, or my God, the acting is really quite poor here. So yeah, I mean, if you're quite tolerant and you like almost like a B movie type action martial arts film, there's aspects here that you're going to enjoy. But God, don't go into this thinking you're getting a top-notch production, because you really, really aren't. This is very much reminiscent of those martial arts films you used to get back in like the 80s and early 90s. Very much has that feel of like a B movie. And you can kind of check your brain at the door when you're watching it, because if you don't, you genuinely won't have any fun with this one at all. So, yeah, thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.